There are mysteries all around us, and we are fascinated by what we cannot understand. Inexplicable phenomena are discovered every day, keeping our curiosity piqued, and the prospect of actually knowing the world around us a foreign concept. Every day it is possible to find something new and exciting, big or small, in the most extreme places on Earth. Some take us to different planets and tell us about the cosmos. Some tell us about our history and where we came from. All of them leave us eager to learn more. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be exploring from the depths of the oceans to the furthest corners of space with 3 announcements and discoveries. Whale hit by propeller. For our first story, we touch upon a subject which actually makes the news headlines far too often, with propeller-induced whale injuries occurring a couple of times a year at least, much to our dismay. Small vessels can in fact be fatal to whales, and so sightings or strikes are meant to be reported to suitable organisations. When whales are struck by boat propellers, their wounds are often life-threatening to fatal, and chances of whales surviving them seem to be slim. One of the saddest cases of this is from back at the start of 2020, when it was reported that a newborn calf was injured and was unfortunately expected to suffer a slow, painful departure from life after its head was sliced open by a boat propeller. Workers from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission discovered the 1-week-old 8 miles off the coast of Georgia. They observed that its rostrum, in other words upper jaw, had been gashed severely and was flapping open and closed each time the whale dived or tried to surface to breathe. A spokesman reported that even if the infant could survive the intense trauma of the strike, its injuries would make nursing extremely difficult, and the lack of food will likely mean it would not survive. The baby happens to be the offspring of a whale who the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission officials have been tracking since 1993, and the mother goes by the name of Dorisha. The wounded whale is her 4th known child, and officials say they will continue to monitor Dorisha and provide assistance, if possible, where necessary. It turns out that spotting whales from moving boats is actually quite different, whether you are searching for them as a tourist on a sea safari or a seasoned sailor looking to avoid injuring them. Guidelines recommend wearing polarized glasses to increase chances of spotting them before it's too late, and to generally be more aware and on the lookout, especially when sailing at high speeds. Spacex toilet leak forces astronauts to use diapers on trip back to Earth. Space travel is not easy on any level, and astronauts aboard the Spacex capsule have experienced this firsthand. Owing to a broken toilet aboard their spacecraft, crew members will have to use diapers for their 20-hour journey home from the International Space Station on Sunday. Those on board have described the lack of toilet situation as suboptimal but manageable, and generally they do not seem worried about the mishap. Having first been launched into space back on April 23rd, crew members are being brought back to Earth as their spacecraft is only certified for a maximum of 210 days in space. It is now confirmed that the SpaceX mission is due to touch back down on Monday morning after the decision was made to bring astronauts back home before launching replacements. It has been a testing mission in general, with its launch having already been delayed by more than a week due to bad weather and complications arising from undisclosed medical issues from one of the crew members. Testing soon turned to intense when they had to improvise a solution to their leaking toilet after pulling up panels from their capsule to discover pools of leaked urine. The problem was first discovered back in September during a SpaceX private flight, when a tube became unglued and led to a spillage of human waste beneath the floorboards. Engineers have determined that the leakage has not compromised the structure's integrity, and the capsule is therefore still safe to carry the astronauts back. That said, the toilet is officially unusable in orbit. NASA have instead revealed that those on board will have to rely on what they refer to as absorbent undergarments. On a nicer note, the mission was not all hardships and technical failures. Astronauts from SpaceX were the first ever in space to grow chili peppers and have reported that they had a nice spiciness to them and a little bit of a lingering burn, providing a much-needed morale boost to their trip. Their space-grown chilies were then harvested during the mission, and the crew were able to enjoy them, adding them to meals such as tacos. Hubble imaged a a superbubble floating in space. The Hubble telescope, first launched more than 30 years ago in 1990, has imaged a bubble in a nebula 170,000 light-years away from Earth. Discovered about a week ago, the bubble sits in nebula N44, which is an enormous nebula measuring in at 1,000 light-years wide, filled with stars of all ages and sizes, hydrogenous clouds, dark lanes of dust, and the newly discovered bubble which sits at its center. Being called a superbubble by NASA, images show it to be a starry gap in the center of the nebula, essentially hollowing it out. The hole has a diameter of 250 light-years, and questions such as why or how it even exists have not yet been answered by scientists. The N44 nebula as a whole is a bit of a mystery. However, there is one working theory explaining the gaping centered bubble. Apparently, it is thought that massive stars inside of the bubble could have produced stellar winds, which could have then blown away surrounding gas to create the blob-like superbubble. The robustness of this theory has been questioned though, as it is believed that wind velocities measured inside of the bubble are simply not strong enough to have had this effect. Instead, an arguably more compelling theory is that the superbubble was created as the result of multiple chain reaction star-forming events. Supporting this, NASA has said that it is indeed possible that expanding shells of old supernovae sculpted the cosmic cavern. Furthermore, astronomers have found remnants of a supernova in the vicinity of the superbubble. Overall, this proves to be a more coherent theory, especially as stars and the discovered remnants within the bubble reportedly have a 5 million year age gap with those on the rim. We may not yet know for sure the origins of the recently discovered bubble or why it exists, but it is still a fascinating discovery that will undoubtedly prove intriguing to scientists for a while longer still. There is so much more to learn and discover about our own planet, as well as those beyond us, far into the universe. But what do you make of these 3 discoveries and announcements? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.